serious problems.
Right, Mika, what's your serious problem, mate?
I actually, for one of the very few times now, have a very serious problem. And it is that our guest today is actually one of my childhood idols from when I was like a little Nordic Combined kid. I think 4-time world champion in Lahti. No, was it Falun? No, it was Lahti. And it's like little kids looking at Clavo now and they're like, oh, I really want to be like that guy. Yeah. So like Johannes won everything in Nordic Combined in Lahti in 2017. And it's like, you're this young athlete. It's like, oh, that's how I want to be one day. But it's actually the reason we're having him on today is actually not such a nice reason. Nordic Combined, or the IOC has announced that Nordic Combined will not be a part of the Olympic program in 2030 in France. And we'd like to talk a little bit to Johannes Rydzek about it. Welcome to the pod, Johannes.
Hello, thank you for having me, and thank you, Mika, for these kind words. It's really a pleasure to hear that, and I'm really happy or glad or proud to inspire you. Maybe not much enough because you ended up in cross country skiing, but I was also much more a better cross country skier than a jumper, maybe. So I gave you or inspired you to race fast, and that's the main point. But yeah, and then also hello, Jimmy. Of course, the topic why I'm here is really devastating. The decision for Nordic Combined to been thrown out of the Olympic program, was a really shock this week. And of course, I'm not an athlete anymore. Quit my career this spring, but also affects me and makes me also really heartbroken with this decision, with seeing so many young athletes, so many kids, having not or been raped to have no possibility in 2030 to be on the Olympics. I'm happy to can talk about it with you guys.
One thing before we actually dive a bit deeper into this topic, also a bit less funny about you, Johannes. If I remember correctly, then you had a more or less completely injury-free career for the past 15 years. And then you decide to quit Nordic Combined, and like 2 weeks after you quit your career, you tear your ACL. Or what was it? Was it your ACL?
Yeah, torn ACL and MCL. I mean, MCL, and I really damaged my knee pretty heavy. I not inspired, but I did it like a little bit like Lindsey won. I wanted to have like a getting a ski instructor also for alpine skiing, because I do a lot of alpine skiing, and a giant slalom where they have like you have to pass like a kind of tests, and there is also a time you have to do in the giant slalom. And then I hit the gate too hard and was like thrown backwards, and then the knee was damaged. I directly knew that the ACL was gone, because like I saw so many heavy crashes in alpine skiing, and how this happened, I was okay. Now it's gone. I can laugh about it, but it was of course.
It's crazy. Do one of the most spectacular sports there is to watch with ski jumping. You managed to do that completely injury-free. You quit that. You go alpine skiing, stack.
It is not that I didn't go alpine skiing during my career, and also I can show you risky stuff on the alpine skis. And when I was an athlete, where some coaches said, "Oh my God, how can you do that?" But nothing happened, and right after the career, this happens. I'm not happy, but I'm a little bit thankful that it did not happen during my career, because such an injury affects your career. I see it now. It's gonna be a long way back to your like having lots of rehabilitation. And it's the only thing that really helps is time. And as an athlete, you usually don't have time.
Right. Enough talks about
actually
injury.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say, like yeah. Now back to the real topic. What we
Yeah,
want to have you on
yeah,
the
yeah.
show. I think it was a bit of a shock for all of us. I think it's been a bit of a long time coming. We know the last Olympics, women were not allowed at the Olympics, for Nordic
So,
Combined, and it was kind of like unsure if they were going to be allowed to join on the 2030 Olympics. I think the women Nordic Combined have done a lot to develop the last few years. You guys have done a lot. You're athlete representative at Fizz as well, so you've done a lot of work to try and develop Nordic Combined to try and make it to Olympics. And then, like a few days ago, it was like, oh, are women gonna be allowed at the Olympics? And then it was just like, no, nobody's gonna be allowed. So like, yeah, run us through kind of what happened there and like the process and yeah, how you guys felt. Did you know that there was like a big chance that Nordic Combined was not
uh,
gonna be there?
yeah, of course, we knew, yeah, for a long time now that we are like under on the watch list, that the IRC is like watching our data, our numbers on popularity and viewership, and also like how we are spread it all over the globe. And we know we had to like do improvements, getting gender equal, because that was also, or is a real goal for the Olympics or for the IOC. And now they are like, yeah, now it is a gender equal Olympics in 2030, because we are out and not we are having our women joining us. So we knew we have to develop, and I think over the last years we did lots of steps, lots of good work. Of course, you always can do more. Jimmy, you know it, and as an athlete representative, you are so many things you maybe want to do, but the structure is not so fast that you can like do everything you want, or every idea you have is, it's taking time and time. And so I think we work quite fast in this cases, but as we see, not fast enough for the IOC. In the last few weeks, month, we also heard rumors, whether in or out, or we know that the possibility can come real, that we are totally thrown out like it is now. Yeah, of course, we believed, always we stayed in, we getting our women in, and to have this decision now was, of course, a big shock for us. But like the few weeks before, with ski mountaineering, staying in the Olympics, getting even bigger, with free riding, having the possibility to come in, and now is a part of the Olympic program, then was all signs that were pretty bad for us, because we know they don't want to make the Winter Olympics bigger. And so if you are coming in, somebody has to leave, if it's not getting bigger. And so we, like the last weeks, my feeling became worse and worse before this decision. And but like that the decision is now made, like how it, or like it is, it's yeah, really a shock. And of course, after a few days now, um, I can realize it, but really believe, not really yet.
Yeah.
One thing, because I think most people actually don't have any sense for what the timeline on this whole thing is. So I was a Nordic Combined kid growing up, one generation under Johannes. I was a junior from like 2016 to until I quit in 2018, or when I changed to cross country skiing. And when I was a junior, I went to Junior World Championships. No women Nordic Combined yet. When I was a junior, we had Alpen Cups like every other weekend. No women. We had Austria Cup, so like the national race series. No women. And this is like, we're talking about 2015-ish, yeah? So like from 2020 to 2018, all the way I grew up in. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't think I even remember a single conversation about creating Nordic Combined for women. It was just never a topic. Until maybe around 2020, 2019, 2020, the IOC started giving signs like, oh yeah, it's kind of there's no women that are competing in Nordic Combined. We should try to do something there. Then of course, when you just create the random sport out of the blue, the level is going to be dramatic. So the level was dramatic in the first years, but they've actually come a long way. They've worked their way up. But I think what mainly lies in this question is, as the governing body of the sport of Nordic Combined, that's FIS. What was FIS doing in the last 30 years? I mean, it's like gender equality is not something that we just came up with in 2020. This is like a process in society that's been going for like the last 50 to 100 years, maybe. But for some reason in Nordic Combined, and even in ski jumping, it took quite long. In Nordic Combined, people were like, oh, that's just not an issue for us, not a matter for us. How do you feel about that looking back now that prior to 2019, 2020, there wasn't even a sport for women in Nordic Combined?
Yeah, totally correct. And I think that's a good question. And of course, when I was like in my young World Cup years, like 2010 to 2014, I wasn't thinking about these topics. I didn't have like this overview of also the political dimension. There was like Nordic Combined was for men. Okay, it was totally wrong, but like with with a younger age and just be focused on my career, that was like more egoistic than like I'm now, like I now am. But oh my god, my English.
That's good.
But like with the women coming to the Olympics in ski jumping, with the women coming to in 2014, with the women coming to the World Championships in 2009, FIS should have also done this for Nordic Combined. Of course, not like having this many athletes who are doing ski jumping, but they should have offered a possibility to also go into Nordic Combined, because it was a matter of time that the same process will come in Nordic Combined, and you would have the chance to, if you like, ski jumping for women was also really late with the end of 2008, 2009, when in Liberec, the first World Championship for ski jumping women was held. That I think this point was missed, that there is in parallel was Nordic Combined also for women included. If FIS would have reacted earlier, then we had now, yeah, totally different, with knowing that just ski jumping was in the Olympics 2014, but maybe we had a better chance for 2018, 2022. And so they waited until it was almost too late, or as we can now see, it was too late, until 2019, with including women in Nordic in the World Championships in Nordic Combined in Oberstdorf 2021. So there was a real gap, and I think FIS could have reacted much earlier.
But what I'm a bit surprised is when I was on this the FIS meetings in the spring, the president came to talk to us, the athletes, so Johannes Rydzek, and he was quite positive about both snowboard, slalom, and Nordic Combined. And so I think everybody was just like, kind of like, oh, it was just kind of IOC just pushing so that the development of women Nordic Combined was faster. But yeah, so I'm a bit surprised that this is the outcome. But actually, the real question I have for you now, it's what are the next steps? Like, what are you guys going to do? Is it possible to go back into Olympics in 8 years? Is it possible to like develop the sport outside the Olympics? How is it also going to affect cross country skiing? Because like we have World Cups together, a lot of the World Cups together, and let's be honest, when we're in Lahti and there was a training day on the Friday, there was tons and tons of people that came to watch Nordic Combined jumping, and maybe there was also ski jumping there at the same time. So like it will definitely affect us if your sport gets smaller, and Fizz is definitely like stressed about one of their sports not being Olympic anymore.
Yeah, one comment like on the first part, like I was also, because like I heard also from the president, from the former president of FIS, he was so confident to stay us in. So we like were also like in the last month really confident about that. But yeah, how will affect it? I don't think we can, or I can really see all the consequences. But of course, it will affect also ski jumping and cross country skiing. The Nordic Combined is for many venues, for many also for the World Championships, is the link between those two. Without Nordic Combined, it is a possibility to have like cross country world championships in Rydzek on and ski jumping in, I don't know, Zakopane or something like this. You theoretically could divide it. I don't think FIS will do. I hope FIS will don't do that. But with talking with you saying Lahti, like these Nordic weekends where we are all together, it is of course the spectator. They're really getting an event with lots of competitions coming. Competition after competition. They have like the whole weekend full of action, of Nordic action, and I think I'm hoping it will last as long as possible. But of course, it is challenging for organizers if you're hosting another Olympic sport with the less TV time. We will maybe get less TV time. We will get less and with that sponsors, and so it's dropping like its value. And then it's gonna be hard for hosts to host, or for the venues to host a Nordic Combined World Cup. So it will affect for sure also cross country and ski jumping, but in what dimension, I don't know.
But I think every problem can also lead into an opportunity, and I think that, and this is not just Nordic Combined. I think many sports, especially winter sports, maybe do have structural problems in the way they're set up, in the way they're organized, in the way maybe the host federation is organized. For example, I saw there's like some initiative by was it Billy DeMong? I think it was Billy DeMong with this Velocity Ski League. What's that? And can you maybe lead us a bit through that and through the idea, or what do you know about that?
To be honest, I'm a little bit of not the perfect guy who talking about this, because I'm not so deep into it. I know this is an initiative like a little bit more like this teams, building teams like in cycling, where you have not in thought in nations, but in like teams we are creating together. Of course, this can be a possibility, and now we are, if we are not, or now that we are not an Olympic sport, we maybe have more freedom, I would say, to test something like this. It's always a little it's always a gamble. As Jimmy said, we maybe have a possibility, or we have a possibility maybe to getting into the 34 Olympic Games. So we just we should not throw everything away. We should also keep the heart of the sport through, or keep that, but maybe we can test a little bit easier some new thinkings, and this could be one possibility. I don't know how far the real planning and when or which event will be. I think it's coming from the US. some events will be in the US in winter. I think 4 in winter, 2 in summer, or the other way around. With not having like nations or like everybody starting for its nation, but for for some teams. But how it's organized in detail, I'm not so deep into it, and I'm not sure if it's all said already.
Back to
do you?
the topic.
Just a one last question. Do you know if like now you're on the same level as like winter triathlon to run for the Olympics? Like, do you have to go through all the qualification to to apply for Olympics, or is it like you still have like kind of this bit in between sort of, or do you not know? That's
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, but I hope not that we
yeah.
are like on the same level. But I also know that no sports were thrown out and came back in. So it's like you have like the host nation of the Olympics can also like add one extra discipline, and this would not affect, or we can't be this discipline because we are thrown out and not a totally new coming in from the host nation. So we have to like do the normal process, and on which, if we have like a bonus because we had been in, I'm not sure, but I hope that we are, because we are doing so, well, we are obviously having the criteria for so long, but I'm not 100% sure.
It actually talking about it makes you even more pessimistic than optimistic. It's actually it's really sad. But back to maybe not blaming, but I think at this stage we should also point at where things went wrong and who fucked things up at what stage. We just talked about this whole timeline of Nordic Combined for women just never really was even an option until it became absolutely necessary in the last moment. Do you think, pure feeling, that getting women's Nordic Combined into the Olympics was ever a real option, or is it just a cheap excuse to get rid of Nordic Combined as a total sport?
Yeah, it's a tough question. It's a really tough question. I was thinking about this for sure, because with the argumentation of gender equality, it was like it was a hard goal for us when we started it, when we had like this deadline to this Olympics, and we knowing we had to produce, or we had to like build this whole women Nordic Combined, from the World Cup, from the COC Alpen Cup, from the starting the field of athletes, and we created that, and they despite of that, they throw us out. So after all this and all this we made, you have a point, and I was thinking the same. I think that was the argument to have us to throw us out, to because now they are our gender equal, and it was the easier way to throw us out, and it was like with this argumentation. I was also thinking about that. I'm not sure if it is so, but I had the same feeling and the same thought like you.
Yeah. The thing that annoys me a little bit is that we're seeing more and more of the sports that are very subjective in the Olympics now. Like free ride is a super cool sport to watch, but it's another subjective sport where you need to have judges. And then I think there was like synchronized
Figure skating, yeah.
ice figure skating, yeah, is a new sport. Is that it?
Got an extra discipline. Biathlon got single mixed into the Olympic program now.
Okay, yeah, and then it's just these extra disciplines they are like subjective, and I think it's a shame to lose that a little bit, to lose the disciplines where it's time, distance. I know you have like some judges in ski jumping in Nordic Combined, but like it's a
Yeah,
small, it's just so that you guys don't jump like crazy,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
still the most
exactly.
important is
Yeah,
distance
yeah.
and speed on the skis, and I think it's a bit of a shame to lose that. But I actually have a question: is do you understand the IOC's decision? Like, do you see, like, if you're trying to be, it's super, I guess, impossible for you to do, but like, if you try to look at it in a super objective way, do you see their point of view? Like, if you want to be, if they are being really cynical and taking out all emotion out of it, do you understand their point of view or not?
It's of course it's hard to put all the emotions out. But if I do, or if I try to do, then I'm maybe ending up with what we are talking just now with what Mika said. With it was the easiest way for the IOC to have like this annoying sport which just the men are in, and yeah, it's the easiest way to throw it out, to not having it, not getting the Olympics bigger. We throw it out, and then we have the possibility to come in with free ride or with whatever, which are much more popular, which are all over the globe. With I think a free ride world tour champion from New Zealand, I think. And also what you said, Jimmy, it is a free ride. I love free riding, or I love it to watch. But I also heard some words from athletes, former athletes, that free ride coming into the Olympics is a little bit of also losing the identity of the free spirit of free riding, because you are even more pushed into this judgment, into this Olympic. So this is maybe a sport which they not the entire athletes really want to be Olympic. Of course, with all the benefits to be an Olympic sport. I don't, and then I see all the athletes from that which are happy about being at the Olympics. So, but I see also this point to having even more sports which are more chargeable and not like distance or speed. And but coming back to the question with the emotions out, I think IOC, it was the easiest way to get rid of some a sport which they are always had problems because gender, just one gender in, and so it seems to be a little bit of the easiest way.
Then also one thing that I don't want to say annoyed me, but that I get a bit surprised over if I look now. I was yesterday. I looked at the top 20 in the overall World Cup on especially on the men's side, actually, in Nordic Combined, and then I went to all of their like Instagram profiles and their social medias and stuff. And just by looking on Instagram profiles of the 20 best Nordic combiners in the world, and they have seen this is going to be a long time coming, that this is a decision that is going to decide their future and the future of their sport. Nobody was really talking about it. There's almost no Instagram posts. I mean, some people were really happy that they got to watch Formula One and posted lots of pictures of that, but there was not a single video, not a single picture with raising awareness just now before the decision was made. It seemed that people were enjoying their lives a lot and kind of either accepted their fate, the Nordic Combined is not going to be Olympic anymore, or they simply didn't really care about the decision. How do you feel that the involvement of athletes, and I'm especially talking about men's athletes, not about the women, because the women were never in and the men were going to be thrown out. Do you think that the athletes took enough responsibility and ownership over their future and this decision, or do you think that many people just took it too lighthearted and just didn't really want to talk so much about it in public, just do a little X on some World Cup with polls? Yeah, what's your opinion on that?
I totally see your point of view that the women's side was much more did much more about it. It wasn't really what was this maybe the problem. It was no really like we didn't have like a plan altogether. Maybe from my side as an athlete's representative, I did too less for that to like guiding them. Maybe that was also a little bit of my fault, but what I experienced, the decision, and that's maybe what I know from the backgrounds of sport politic. It's always like two sides of a coin. IOC also making their decisions for their own, and I know that they are not be aware of too much what was like in social media. We did even a lot of on the Olympics. I personally talked to lots of from the IOC staff, and there was really positive talks at the Olympics with the IOC. But as we now see, that was really like for nothing, or what in between the competition after jumping, I was talking to like 5 or 6 guys. So it was hard for me, and maybe for lots of other men. I think they were aware, but they didn't know what really make the difference, or what really has or is been heard by the IOC. And we had the feeling, and we did some actions, but they never had been heard, or we didn't get like a positive or any response of any of our actions. If you know what I mean.
How do you feel about the role of ski federations then? I mean, we all know that big ski federations in especially mid-Europe, they have like good, very good channels to big journalists, to big newspapers. Look at the German Ski Federation, look at the Austrian Ski Federation. They're not federations, they're institutions. Did they do enough? Did they raise enough awareness?
Maybe that would be would have been. Now we are talking about what and if, but maybe if there is like in you for a real campaign,
Just what and ifs. So
yeah. But if like FIS together with the big national federations would have been like a campaign with also having real money for a social media campaign is really that you have like really high quality posts, feeds, stories. Then you have to spend money on that, and maybe there was too less of a campaign altogether. It was like a little bit of here and a little bit of there, and there was no real plan. And I think, maybe I as an athlete representative could have been this guy, but I was an athlete. Now I'm struggling with my injury, having new direction in life. But with the help of federation of FIS it would have been easier. But I don't know if we did a lot of, and I don't know if what really would have been effective. I know I'm talking a little bit around the edges, but it was the situation for the last weeks that we really didn't know what to do and what is really effective, or what is really coming to the IOC, and that was maybe the problem. I don't want to blame any like FIS or national federation, but like just talking open-minded.
But that's the thing I feel with sports politics that I've understood more and more. It's just politics. So when the president of the IOC tells you, of the FIS tells you, oh, it's like we're working really well on it, we're like doing some good work, we're really positive about it, you shouldn't see that. You should think like we're fucked. And actually, I think if and I realize more and more that actually you need to read between the lines of all these things. And I think maybe if they had just said, this is like really bad, we need to do something, maybe everyone would have been like, okay, shit, let's get like let's do more stuff, let's like work like 200%. Like as an athlete representative, you're like a volunteer. You go to the meetings where basically they just kind of ask for the point of view of the athletes. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of motivation, and you need to have the backing of all the athletes if you really want to do some good work. But it takes tons and tons of time. So I don't think you can blame yourself for that. And I think maybe for a lot of people it was just difficult to realize how serious a situation it was. Like I personally, I've seen it from like the outsides, and I didn't believe it was actually gonna happen.
I think
And
nobody believes.
yeah,
But
nobody believes it
you are not
because
to
like
blame. But
nobody. Oh, sorry.
no, go on, go on.
Because like nobody, yeah, as Jimmy said, we always heard like, yeah, it looking good, was looking good from the president of the FIS, from the federation. It's looking quite good. We don't have more informations, and so we are like, yeah, we're quite sure and not be really aware of how serious it became. And now like it is too late. Yeah, we can not do that much more.
But I think
Yeah.
it's a if for you and me, Mika, it's also a good sign that it also is the responsibility of the athletes to make the sport good. And like we also need to be better on social media. Every cross country skier can be better on social media.
Not only social media, Jimmy. It's not only social media. And of course,
Yeah,
athletes
sure.
are also responsible of their own faith. And of course, everybody could have done more. But I think you should not underestimate the economic power that Nordic Combined had in Germany, had in Austria. There's some countries where it's actually quite big. Like I think Johannes is very well known in Germany. I think Eric Frenzel is super well known in all of the country. Vincent Geiger now. Johannes Lamparter, he's also like a celebrity in Austria. And with economical power comes also the big federation that also earns money on it. And they have people that are being paid full time just to work for that sport. They have people that work there for a press. And then I ask myself, if you have people that are being paid full time to just work with the press and work with social media, and if you go on any of the big federations' accounts, and you're just like, huh? There's like zero awareness was been raised about this. There's like no, or maybe press articles did go out to news media, but non-news media really wrote about it. And now we're sitting here and all feeling a bit pity and sorry for it. But another question before we're
The easiest part would have been to convince Donald Trump to call Christy Coventry and say Nordic Combined has to be in, and then it would be.
But what all the American Nordic Combined skiers are doing then?
Yeah,
Should have got
I
them
don't know.
involved. That would
No,
have been.
but maybe one last topic about that, of course, and just to maybe we shouldn't blame everybody. Of course, we should raise this awareness what we have done, but in the end, it also could have been that we did all this perfect, and the IOC decided just because like it's the easiest way, as we talked, throw Nordic Combined out, and we can do it other way. So maybe all we don't know. So maybe all the best campaign wouldn't have worked out because IoT had their decisions already, and that could be also, I think, a real option.
Yeah.
now you'll never know, but I still feel the
Yeah.
pressure from outside is
Yeah,
the most
yeah, yeah.
measure. When we're talking about it's politics,
Yeah.
and what's politics? Politics is keeping people happy. If people are not unhappy, measures will have to be taken. So, yeah, one last thing about the consequences that this will have maybe for other sports also inside the Olympics. I heard that like both ski jumping and cross country skiing, we usually share the venue with Nordic Combined. And apparently and I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe you do, Johannes. Apparently, the IOC evaluates sports if they were from being kept in the Olympics or being taken to the Olympics. There's also like the economy behind it and the financials, and therefore in cross country skiing and ski jumping, they basically serve two sports because the venues serve ski jumping, cross country skiing, and Nordic combined. So now one of those sports fall away. They still have to build a massive infrastructure for both cross country skiing and ski jumping, but they build it for one sport less. Is that gonna impact or affect our sports as well long term, or do you not think that that's going to be an issue for cross country skiing and ski jumping?
I'm not 100% sure, of course, especially in the Olympics. But I think more the problem will be ski jumping for sure, because like cross country, you have like the everybody can do cross country and use a stadium. If La Clusaz rebuilds its stadium, that's good for like many people. Much more than like in Courchevel when they have a new hill. It's just for like a few people. I think this will infect maybe ski jumping a little bit more. And I also heard that the French Ski Federation or to get all the money for rebuilding or for renewing the hills in Courchevel will be now even harder because they're just doing it for one sport. And also in terms of how can the hill stay alive after Olympics, because like I think in many countries it's a little bit similar. You get money for this venues if you're an Olympic sport, and you have like to if you're Olympic, then you're getting get money for keeping the hills alive. And now that Nordic Combined is out, it's even harder to keep them alive, because like money goes away to other sport, or goes away from this daily or yearly amount they need for having them having them alive. And I think that will be here in Oberstdorf especially, but all in Germany, maybe also Austria and even Norway, where the Olympiatoppen. I think this is also some kind of like, just if you're in the Olympics, you get money there. It will be harder for especially hills to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're already almost 45 minutes in. We should ask you the question that we always ask our guests. Johannes, if you had one session you would do, dream session with two people in one place, what would you do? Where would you go? And who would you take with you?
One session with two people. That's of course hard. I would do it, of course, somewhere where hill and cross country stadium is nearby. I would go to Trondheim because I love it there. Even I had some struggle with the hills at the World Championships. Jumping with who was my I don't know. Of course, cross country skiing with Harald Amundsen.
Yeah.
I love how he skis. They're doing a interval session after jumping, but who would take her with me for jumping? I don't know if Janne Ahonen is still jumping. He was jumping like really long, but it was like a childhood idol for me. Not from Germany, but maybe he's coming over to Norway from Finland and doing a session with me, and then afterwards with Harald Amundsen some intervals. I need some fast roller skis for that.
Yeah, but that's a good session though.
It's a good session. I'm sure we'd find somebody to get you some fast roller skis too. I don't think that should be a problem.
Yeah.
So if we can get Janne Ahonen to jump again, get on.
Yeah, but I think he was jumping not this year in Lahti or last year. He's still doing some jumps, but
Oh, I saw it on
he-
television somewhere. They
I
did like
think it
some
was
thing.
yeah with Tony Nierman, and I think they
Yeah.
it's not as good as I remember him from. I think he was world champion in Trondheim '97. But yeah, I think he's not in his prime. But so I'm also not in my prime at the moment, especially.
Right. Okay. Thanks for joining us, Johannes. Even though the topic that
Thank
we had
you.
was shit, but yeah, it is what it is, and the only thing we can do
Yeah,
now is hope that the opportunities that come out of this setback
yeah,
are bigger than the setback itself, and
yeah,
that in 2034 we can hope for a re-entry of Nordic
yeah,
Combined, even though if it's not looking good as of now. But
yeah.
everybody will need to work 100% on it, be full gas there, and
Yeah,
then we'll see what
learning from it, that we like maybe working what we was criticizing now, maybe learning from it and really putting it all in for the next year. And yeah, thank you for having me. I think we will meet around, maybe in Oberstdorf when you come for the Tour de Ski this year.
Or the
I will
world
be
champs
there.
in Oberstdorf. World
Yeah,
champs have been
yeah,
been
yeah.
announced that it's going to
That
be in
topic
Oberstdorf.
was yeah. That was the good. That's what that was the good news this week.
Yeah.
that was the good news. Also, we already said bye, but just 2 minutes, 2 extra minutes. The IOC, or I read on longren.com and xski.com, or .de actually, that the IOC has taken back the suspension of the ROC, of the Russian Olympic Committee. You both are athletes reps. Do you know if that's going to have an impact on cross country skiing and Nordic Combined? Will we see Russians next year, or what does this mean? This press release?
From what I've heard, or like I have not heard anything yet. So I think this is the sort of like decisions that you have to wait a few weeks until things happen at Fizz as well, because this is just IOC that decided something. A lot of it is often clickbait. There's lots of people that weigh in for these decisions to be taken. So I think maybe we don't need to comment too much on it yet, because I think it's unclear what that's going to mean for both Nordic Combined and cross-country skiing or any other sport. What do you think, Johannes? But right now there's still a ban from FIS, so it needs to wait until the next Fizz council anyway.
But I think with the IOC doing giving this direction, usually the big federations are following, and the possibility is really high that we see Russian athletes next year in if they are racing on their neutral flag, or which athletes are allowed. But I think we will see more Russian athletes next year, especially in cross country, because like Nordic Combined, there are some, but in which dimension, I'm not sure. But the direction is to open it again more.
But
Right,
actually,
okay,
we can
well,
even say that when the IOC takes such decisions, it's not the Fizz. They can't decide what they want. They have to kind of follow.
Yeah.
So we'll see exactly what comes out of it. But
we'll definitely follow that thing happening and follow the development around it, and keep you guys posted. But for now, thanks, Richie, and
Thank
get
you,
better
guys.
soon with your knee. I hope you get a good rehab, and then we'll see you somewhere on the tracks.
yeah,
For sure.
Right. Your
Bye-bye.
number one podcast. Ciao.
ciao, ciao.
Serious problems.